It's time now for Money, Power, Politics. Tonight we are learning about another possible conflict of interest for President Donald J. Trump. Since January, the president's bought more than $100 million worth of corporate and municipal bonds. That is according to filings from the Office of Government Ethics. This kind of active trading by a president is unprecedented. It means Donald Trump stands to benefit or suffer losses, depending on how these bonds perform. But these bonds include banks, and they include companies, and they include local governments that are literally directly impacted by the decisions that Donald Trump is making in the White House. Our nightcap is still with me. Tim, is this classic Donald Trump? You are extremely familiar with how this gentleman works as a businessman.
It is. Well, it's it's not even Donald Trump working as a businessman. It's Donald Trump working as an insider trader. It's Donald Trump in a position to influence the interest rates that determine the value of the bonds he's buying. It's that simple. The other thing is, it is a drop in the bucket. The $100 million in bonds he bought is a drop in the bucket in terms of the grift that's going on in the White House around cryptocurrencies. His net worth, I think, jumped by more than $2.5 billion based on paper, but it's on cryptocurrency assets he holds at a time when his family had absolutely no experience in the business before he became president. It's a product that he disparaged as a scam before he became president. Once he became president, he was able to influence federal policies that raised the value of cryptocurrencies, bringing them aboard as federally recognized assets in banks, legitimizing it through various federal regulations that govern the market, all of which he exercises great authority over and which he was not disinterested in because his own net worth was directly affected by it. And we could go on and on and on. And it's so tragicomically over the top relative to every president in the modern era who's preceded him. Because there were real, in the post-Watergate era, there were real steps taken to make sure that presidents couldn't profit off of the office. And part of that was disclosure, and the other part was letting go of control of your own assets so someone else could handle them. And Trump and his sons are wildly coming up almost every week with a new product in an industry they know nothing about, but will get value added to it because of their proximity to their father. Average Americans can't do this. Most people in government are held to much higher standards than the president is around this kind of stuff. So, of course, he's going to town on it.
Perhaps the most surprising thing is that we've actually found out about it through a filing from the Office of Government Ethics. I didn't even...
Well, it shows actually how flagrant he is, because he doesn't care. He's happy to make it public now and not even try to stop the disclosure.
Right. I have not seen, Alan, a single Republican come out and say anything about this. Maybe I'm missing something?
So this actually made me think of an episode from just a few weeks ago. I don't know if you'll recall, but Trump came out very strongly against a congressional stock trading ban that included coverage of the office of the president and the vice president.
He's now exempt from this, if I'm not mistaken.
He is currently exempt, but this ban comes out, and he unloaded on Senator Josh Hawley, who was the only Republican to support it. The only reason the bill was moving forward was because he joined with 7 other Democrats to advance the stock trading ban. And the only way they could get it advanced was if they included the president and the vice president under the coverage. He came out and not only railed against this, but said that it specifically targeted him. Now, the bill was written in a way where, look, it applies to the president and the vice president, but a plain reading of it wouldn't come across as it was specifically targeting him.
I'm being targeted, to be honest.
Exactly. And
am I right, though, that he's now? Am I right, though, that the bill as it stands will only apply to future presidents and future vice presidents?
It will only apply to the president who takes office in 2029.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Surprise, surprise.
And then today, he may not stay in office, right?
They're targeting Lisa Cook at the Fed.
Yeah. As Alan reported, yeah.
Yeah, and saying that the fact that she, listed 2 different homes for her primary mortgage was scandalous and should be looked at by the Department of Justice. This is a president who a year ago was found liable for a series of financial frauds related to record keeping, and then a series of felonies related to doctoring his own company's books on a scale that Lisa Cook couldn't even whisper about. Right. So the idea that Trump is this enforcer of legal norms about good behavior in government is ridiculous.
I will say, though, Basil, that even Democrats have struggled with doing simple things like banning this type of stock trading at the federal government level. Is this a winning issue for Democrats to focus on, or are people not going to believe them?
Well, I think people believe them. I think that's why the AOC Bernie Sanders oligarchy tour was somewhat successful and brought out those crowds, because there is this sense that the rules for folks in Washington are different from the rules for the rest of the country. The problem is that actually sustainable? And the other issue is, all of what you're saying is important, because I'm still waiting for the trickle down. Republicans are waiting for the trickle down. Those folks that voted for Trump, how is making him rich going to make them rich? And that's never going to happen. And it's going to take the Democrats to consistently hit home with that. The downside of that is the unfortunate problem of where we are in this country with Donald Trump. He's more than a man. He's a symbol to so many people. It's harder to take down a symbol than it is a man. Last
night we were talking about Home Depot as it related to the Trump tariff policies. But one of the things that we didn't bring up, and I had wanted to, was that they're staying quiet about what's happening with immigration in the parking lots at all of these different stores around Los Angeles, around the country. Or do you guys think that they will, Tim, are they going to pay a price for staying quiet on this one in particular?
Yes, because they need those workers for just on a very practical bottom line.
You don't have a Home Depot if you don't have day laborers in the parking lot.
Right. They're already, and they were very outspoken about tariffs, because they knew the tariffs were going to empty their store shelves, and that consumers wouldn't come through the front door. But when they have to go this extra mile to actually talk about the human beings that are being affected by this, they're backing away because they don't want to get penalized by Donald Trump. But the business community has to remember that it is a stakeholder in this whole wild daisy ring of abuses and obscenities that are affecting different parts of society. And they're not going to escape it.
The other story that we were watching very closely is that, as it relates to the tariffs, by the way, is that Japan and South Korea had said that they were making these deals with Trump, and they had expected that he would bring down the tariffs on the cars and on the steel. And there are questions now about who promised what. Is the White House saying anything, Alan, about all of this?
I mean, look, the tariff thing is like a mystery week to week, like where everything stands. But if you look at Trump, right, the two groups of people that he's been most successful in getting to bend to his will, American business leaders and the leaders of these foreign nations, as he's using tariffs as like the main stick to go after them and get what he wants. Like, this has become his lead negotiating tool, even more so than it's a tool to, let's say, bring American manufacturing back, which was kind of the whole pitch during the campaign.